Salve! Hey guys, welcome to Latin. Hope you're doing good. You guys know that Latin is the mother tongue of all the Romance languages. I've been telling you that all year long. We're on page 204. Very quickly looking at page 206. Just want to show you guys the greetings. Okay, so you're not going to have to learn these, but I want you to at least hear them. So when you say hi to somebody in Latin, you would say salve. So the V makes a W sound. Salve, like salutation. And so then he says salve back. And then he says quis es, which it sounds kind of like quién es or quién eres. And it means the same thing that means, which is who are you? Quién es in Spanish, quis es in Latin, sum Marcos. In Spanish, it would be soy Marcos, I am. See how if you put some and you put Spanish soy and you take English I am, you kind of see how sum is almost like Spanish and English had a baby? Like if soy and I am had a baby, it would become sum, right? Or maybe that's the dad, I don't know. But so you can see how English and Spanish and Latin kind of blur together sometimes, okay? The other day, I was watching The Godfather with my son, and there's this scene that they just start talking. It's a really, Oscar, Academy Award-winning movie, really famous. And there's this one scene, all of a sudden, in the middle of the movie, it just shifts to Italian. And the two main stars are just speaking in Italian the whole time. They don't even try to translate. They don't even give you any subtitles. It's part of the movie's drama to just like not know exactly what they're saying. I was translating every single word to my son, every word. I understood every single word. I was like, this is crazy. This happens in Italian sometimes. And then it shifted to something else and came back to them. And then now I could only understand some of it. So sometimes between you being an English speaker and you being, you can understand some of it. Sometimes between being a Spanish speaker, you can understand some. And sometimes, I keep saying between, but sometimes between you knowing both of them, English and Spanish. And I imagine if you knew French as well, it would probably fill in even more gaps. You can really understand Italian. Okay, so back to this. Salve, how are you? Like salud or salute. Quis es, quién es? Who is this? Who are you? Sum Marcus, I am Marcus. Then he says then she says et ego sum Anna. So et ego, the et is like and, or in Spanish e, the Spanish y symbol. Y yo soy Anna is how you'd say it in Spanish. In English, and I am Anna. So this ego seems a little bit weird, but if you guys saw Guardians of the Galaxy 2, the planet Ego, somebody has a big ego, they always talk about who? Themselves. They're self-centered. So that's the word for I. We get it from Italian. Okay, so it means I, and I am Anna. And then he says Wale, not Wally, but Wale, which means goodbye. Okay, remember the V makes a W sound. All right, so just wanted to show you that. But what we're going to focus on is the numeri. Okay, so this is on page 209, numeri. And numeri means numbers. I want to just show you something here. So Arabic numbers over here on the right, that's what we use when you're in with Miss Hopper or whatever, whoever you have for math, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, okay, in Arabic. The Roman numerals, you guys are used to seeing those like maybe on watches or on fancy, I don't know, tattoos or I don't know, something. But these are the Roman numerals. Okay, we don't really use them because they start out really good when you're keeping track of something, 1, 2, 3 things by putting tally marks. But then after that, they get a little bit more complicated. They're not as much fun to use anymore, so we don't use them. Okay. Then we have Latin. So you notice that Roman numbers, Roman numerals, and Latin numerals are different. The Latin is like the numbers, and so you have they sound a lot like Spanish sometimes. Okay, so we have like unus, duo, tres, quatuor, quinque, sex, septem, octo, novem, decim. Okay, so notice 10 is decim, like the decimal system, right? Notice tres looks like 3 or tripod or tres. Duo looks like 2 things, like people singing a duet. Unus sounds kind of weird, but then you think, hang on, and uno. But unus is like where we get a lot of our English words, like we are unanimous, right? We are unified. We are one. Okay. There's your English ones. You know those. And then there's your Spanish ones. And notice how similar the Spanish are to the Latin. Okay. So I'm just going to go through the Latin ones with you really quickly. So you have unus for one. duo for 2, then tres for 3, quatuor, sounds kind of like cuatro, but spelled very differently, quatuor. 5 is quinque, sounds a little bit like cinco, quinque. Sex, sounds like seis and 6 having a baby, which, well, never mind, but anyway, sex. Then you have 7 is septem. If we were having class, I would share with you some really interesting facts about why September is supposed to be the 7th month. And October is supposed to be the 8th month. And November is supposed to be the 9th month. And December is supposed to be the 10th month because it's the decimal system. But because Caesar renamed July after himself, Julius Caesar, and then Augustus Caesar says, hey, that's a good idea. He renamed August. It kind of threw everything off by 2 months. So we have, and it's a 12-month year instead of 10. So anyway, but that's why those look so familiar to you. 11 and 12 we won't worry about, undecim and duodecim. 12 is waginti, 20. 20 is waginti. 100 is centum. You're going to want to say centum because of century and stuff like that, but it's going to be centum in the Latin. It's always a hard C sound. And then 1,000 is mille. So you'll notice that 1,000 looks like millimeter, centum looks like centimeter, and 10, of course, looks like decimeter, okay, because they're based on the 10. Here's some sentences down here. Duo et tres sunt quinque. So can you do the math? What is that? Duo et tres, et is and, sunt is they are, like son, S-O-N in Spanish, quinque. So if you said duo et tres, 2 and 3 are 5. Okay, so it's just a little addition. And here's another one. Quatuor et octo et sex et duo sunt viginti. So that would be quatuor, right? 4 and 8 and 12 and 2 are, total it up, 20. All right. So just really quickly, here's the Roman numerals. You see how you go 1, 2, 3. And then after that, with the 4 and the 5, you're not just doing the slashes. So I'll show you on here. On here, you have 1 slash, 2 slash, 3 slashes. Then when you do 4, you make this 5. And if you put the 1 in front of it, you take it away from the 5. So it's a 4. Here's your 5. If you put it after the 5, then you add it. So that's 6. So that's what you just have to remember. You just got to memorize that that's 4 and that that's 6, so then you'll keep them all straight. Because you do the same thing with 10. If you put the slash in front of the x, then instead of it being 10, it's 1 minus it, right? So it's 9. If you put a 1 after that, it's going to be an 11. Okay? So same thing that you did here after the V. You had 1 slash, 2 slash, 3 slashes, so that's 5 plus 3 is 8. But now you go 1, wait, that's a bigger number, so you take it away from it. Okay? So you do that throughout. All right, so the only homework that you have is just do this on page 211. Just these 8 little easy guys. You can use the page across it to figure it out. And then just write down 2 places where you would see Roman numerals today, right? So you can email those in to me. And you guys have a great week. Holler at me if you have any questions or if you want me to show you some other stuff from this chapter or any chapter here in Latin. You're just interested, just let me know. And I can give you some more work just for you. Just to have fun. I won't even tell anybody that you're asking for Latin homework. It'll be our little Latin secret of your possible. You never know. You might want to take Latin next year at Vanden instead of Spanish or German or French or something. All right. Well, you guys have a great week. Take care. And this will be due on next Monday. Thanks.